Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this beautiful earring. It's really quite simple and quick to do, and you'll need the following materials. I used DMC's 6-strand cotton yarn. This embroidery, not cotton yarn, cotton embroidery floss. This material is really nice because it's so cheap at craft stores. It's about 77 cents a bundle, and one bundle makes exactly one earring with the tassel. So I just bought 2 of these bundles so that I can make a pair of earrings. Next, you can also get a bead of some sort to add onto your earring. Optional, but adds a very cute little look. You'll need yarn needles for pretty much just for tucking in the tail of the tassels, which is part of my tutorial. If you don't use yarn needles, you can also use a really small crochet hook to kind of pull those tails in. You'll also need fishhook earrings. I bought a small 30-piece pack here. I think it was about $5 or so at Michael's, and you can also take advantage of their nice weekly coupons to get that if it's not on sale. I'm using a 2.25 millimeter crochet hook with the embroidery floss to make this earring. So that's that for the materials. Let's get started on directions. Alright, so let's get started. With your thread, you're going to start with a magic ring, like so. Chain 1 to begin. Then you're going to insert 6 puff stitches around this whole ring. So I'm going to yarn over, go in, pull 1 loop, that's 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go in, pull up a loop. Now I'm going to yarn over and then pull over all of those loops on my hook, and a chain to close it. That's 1 puff so far. I'm going to put in 5 more puffs. Yarn over, insert, pull up, insert, pull up, oops, insert, pull up, and 1 more, insert, pull up. Alright, you might notice that working with embroidery thread is a little bit splitty, but try your best to catch all of the threads. So another puff, insert once, insert twice, oops, see, that one split. Okay, insert once, insert twice, and insert 3 times. There we go. Yarn over, pull through all loops. There. So I have 3 puffs so far, 3 more to go. 1, 2, 3. Pull through, chain to close. 1, 2, 3. Chain to close. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 more puff stitch. 1, 2, 3. Pull through, chain to close. There we go. So now there are 6 on my ring. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my ring tight, like so. And then you're going to join the round by inserting your hook into the first chain on the puff stitch, on the first puff stitch, I mean. and pull through with a slip stitch. There we go. Let me see if you can see that all right, because this is really tiny. Okay. Now, what you're going to do is start the next round. Now we're on round 2. You're going to chain 1 to start, then single crochet on top of each puff and increase in each of the chain 1 spaces. So on top of the first puff, I'm just going to do a single crochet. Oops. You're working pretty small here, so you've got to look carefully to see where you put your hook. There's 1 single crochet on top of the first puff. Now in between, you're in the chain 1, in that space between the puffs, you're going to put in 2 single crochets. You're increasing, so 1 and 2. Like so. The next one is 1 and then 2. 1 and 2 single crochets. A single crochet on top of the puff. 2 single crochets in the chain 1 space. Single crochet on top of the puff. 2 single crochets in the chain 1 space. Single crochet on top of the puff. 2 single crochets in the chain 1 space. Single crochet on top of that puff. And 2 single crochets in the chain 1 space right here. Gotta find that a little bit. Okay, there we go. Oops. There we go. Now, what you're going to do is join with a slip stitch to that very first single crochet, like so. Chain 1. All right. So let me just set this down here so you could take a look. Here is what your earring looks like so far. You can see the little flower design in the middle with your single crochet border. Next, we're going to add some more flower petals or puff stitches all the way around, and let's get started on that. So for this third round, you're going to insert a puff stitch on each of the stitches around. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook, pull out once, insert my hook, pull out twice, and insert my hook, pull out 3 times, okay? Insert, yarn over, and pull through all loops. Chain to close. So do that for all of these puff stitches, for all of these stitches around. Like so. Yarn over, insert 1, insert 2 times, insert 3 times. There. Yarn over, oops, insert once, twice, and 3 times. Chain to close. Yarn over, insert once, twice, 3 times, chain to close, once, twice, 3 times, chain to close, and this part's going to get really boring and repetitive, so I'm going to skip through it quickly. Alright, so now I have went ahead and put in puff stitches on each of the stitches around in round 3, and we're going to finish that off by closing it with a slip stitch. And so find the stitch, find the very first chain 1 on the puff stitch and insert your hook there, close with a slip stitch. What you're going to do is the very last round of this earring. So for round 4, go ahead and chain 1. At the top of the first puff, insert a single crochet. And in each space between the petals or the puffs, you're going to insert a single crochet too. And go all the way around like that. Single crochet on top of a puff, single crochet between a puff. Single crochet on top of a puff, single crochet between the puff. On top of the puff, between the puff, and all the way around. Alright, so now that you've gone all the way around in round 4 with single crochets, you're going to insert your hook into the first stitch, the first single crochet of the round, join with a slip stitch, and chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to cut the yarn, snip the yarn, and that's going to be attached to the fishhook earring portion. So save enough yarn for you to kind of like work with. We're going to loop that around the fishhook earring. So let me pull that out real quick. And I find it easier to do this part with a yarn needle because I don't have great dexterity and fine motor with my fingers. So I'm going to go ahead and loop this through a yarn needle, like so. And I'm going to put it through this loop on the earring. And I need to secure that a few times, so stitch it in like so. Let me see if you can see that okay. All right, get that out of the way. And go through a few rounds. Just to make sure your earring's really nice and tightly fastened. Alright, so when you feel like you've fastened that enough on the top, you can go ahead and try and weave in your ends and fasten off. So I'll go ahead and do that right now. Weaving in through. Okay, I'll weave those in a little bit. for the sake of this tutorial, I don't want to waste too much time going over that, so let me just pull them through real quick. Okay. You're going to start making your tassel, as you can see here. And I'll show you, I have a tassel tutorial on my website, but I'll go ahead and show you a really quick and easy way to do it. So what I do is I find a book that's about the length that I like my tassel to be. For example, like so. And I'm going to wrap my yarn around the book a few times. Now, if you make your tassel a certain size for your first earring, you will need to match that. So I went around 15 times to use up the remainder of my thread here. As you can see, I have about this much left. So I'll just go over it 15 times. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops. Okay. Snip that. Make sure you have enough yarn left over. You're going to be tying this, and as part of the tassel, you'll need 2 ties for it. So right now, go ahead and snip the bottom end where you have your yarn ends. And that's going to give you a lot of strands right here. Let me take off that short one. Okay. There. So with all these strands, what you're going to do next is you're going to tie the middle of it. Let me just pull this through. So I'm going to tie here. I think, let me find where the middle is. All right, that's close. There we go. That's the middle. So now I can go ahead and secure my tie. Double knot it to make it extra secure. Okay, and next pull it downwards. Pull all the yarn tails together like so. As you see, you'll have to trim the bottom a little bit later. And what I do next is I get another piece of thread. And you're going to make sure that it's at least the length of your tassel, because you're going to tie it and pull the ends in. So it should be around the same length, or in my case, a little bit longer is fine, because you'll be trimming it. And this is actually the last bit of teal yarn that I have left. So this amount of yarn or embroidery thread works out perfectly for just one earring. Okay. So you're going to tie tightly. Let's see how I want the head to look. I want it to be around the same size as my other one, so I have to pull it close and check. All right. When you like the placement of it, go ahead and double knot. All right, and once you double knot, what I like to do next is make sure the ends are pulled into the tassel so that it's kind of, it's more hidden. Excuse me, I just licked that and I know it's gross, but this is easier for me to pull the ends through. Okay. Go ahead and stick your yarn needle into the middle of your tassel and you'll just pull through. See how nicely that yarn end was just hidden inside? Take the other one And you'll do the same. Let me see if I could do it without licking it this time. Oh, no. Okay, excuse me. Me and my gross habits. Okay, there we go. Pull through. Go ahead and take that and stick it through the middle of your tassel as well. There we go. All right. And now you can go ahead and add a bead. What I'm going to do to make it easier, excuse me, is take the ends. I'm gonna trim them. Then I'm going to be gross and lick them again. Make sure they're really together and tight so I can string it through my bead. Oops. Maybe it'll help if I twist it a little bit. Okay. Okay, excuse me. I'm gonna have to try this again. Sorry, it looks gross. All right, and this is getting really splitty. Okay, so if that doesn't actually work, your other option is to find a yarn needle with a small enough head to fit through the bead. So let me check this one. This one doesn't quite fit, so I'm gonna have to find a smaller one. This one should fit. Yeah. So I can take my yarn ends, put it through the yarn needle first, which might be easier than sticking it through the bead. And then you pull it through the bead. There we go. All right, that's that. So now that the bead is on, you are going to sew this onto your earring. So find the center of it and the stitch that's right in the middle on the bottom. So I found it right here. Oops. Let's double check the placement. Right here. So I'm going to insert my yarn needle, pull in, and I'm going to go through that a couple times. You want to pull tight so that it doesn't come loose. There we go. All right, and that's that. As you can see, your tassel will need to be trimmed. So go ahead and just take your scissors and you're going to trim through the end. Then you have these strings in the back from weaving in the ends. You're going to weave them in some more, tie them up, and fasten off. And that's that. You'll have 2 lovely earrings. So let me get this part done real quick. Alright, so there you have it. That's that for my easy DIY earring tutorial. As you can see, it's quite simple and quick to make. And if you'd like the free written pattern, that's on my blog. And it'll be much easier to follow along if you have those written directions with you. Alright, hope you enjoyed this pattern and have a wonderful time crafting. Bye now!